Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video we got another news and rumor video to discuss. We got a couple of trade rumors to talk about involving a variety of different teams, plus we also got a couple of signings to talk about, including some from Vancouver, Utah, and Dallas. With all that coming up right now. Hello everyone, welcome back to the video here at the Nintendo Hockey Channel. Before we get into the video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe down below. Thank you for your support. We're never able to without you guys, so if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe button down below. Don't forget to leave a comment down in the comment section below so I'll discuss in this video. Now, we've got a couple of signings to talk about from our past couple of days. 4 of them in total over the past day and a half, so we'll get to all of those here. First, the Utah franchise signed depth defenseman Vladislav Kolyachonok, who's a defender, can play either side, was a 2019 second round pick of the Florida Panthers that the Coyotes had. He was transferred to Utah with the rest of the team. He signs a 2-year contract extension with AV of $175,000 up against the start of next year. Now, for Kolyachonok, last year played in 71 AHL games, putting up 3 goals and 21 points, and also had 2 NHL games. This past year, had a goal and 4 points in 5 NHL games, and also had 8 goals and 11 points in 36 AHL games. Looked pretty good, and I think eventually he could be a solid third-pair defenseman, so to get him at $775 for the next 2 seasons is pretty good, so that's a solid sign there for Utah. Then we saw Dallas Stars send one of their, I think it's UFAs, and that is Oscar Back, who's a center/right winger, a 2018 third-round pick of the Stars, gets a 1-year contract extension with the AV of $775,000 that will begin at the start of next year. Back has not played at the NHL level in his career. 2 years ago, put up 5 goals and 27 points in 66 AHL games. This past year, 7 goals and 36 points in 59 AHL games. So looks like a really good call-up option, and should be a solid AHL player there for the Stars next year, so solid sign there. We also saw Liam O'Brien extend in Utah. He was one of the fan favorites early on when that team was introduced in Utah. So the Utah franchise makes up for it. He was a penny UFA. Liam O'Brien, who's a winger, gets a 3-year contract extension with the AV of $1 million that begins at the start of next year. O'Brien's a solid physical, bomb 6 player with a good personality, so that's good to see they wound up signing him. O'Brien 2 years ago had 3 goals and 11 points in 56 NHL games. This past year put up 5 goals and 14 points, both career highs in 75 NHL games. Looked pretty good, so I think eventually O'Brien should be a solid player there for the Utah franchise as a solid bomb 6 forward, so that's a pretty good sign there for Utah. And lastly, the Vancouver Canucks have indeed signed Teddy Blueger. Blueger, who a lot of people are expecting would probably be back with the Canucks, signs a 2-year extension with an AV of $1.8 million at the beginning of the start of next year. The center left winger had a pretty good season this past couple of years, not this year, but 2 years ago, put up 4 goals and 16 points in 63 games with the Penguins and the Golden Knights combined, helped the Golden Knights win the Stanley Cup. Then signed in Vancouver for on a 1-year deal. It got 6 goals and 28 points in 68 games. This past year with Vancouver looked pretty good, so he signs a 2-year extension, and I think that could be a really good solid sign there for the Canucks to keep Blueger, who's a solid 4th-line center. So solid sign there for the Canucks to get Blueger, for the Utah franchise to get Kolyachonok and O'Brien sign on extensions, and good to see Back be signed by the Dallas Stars. Those are interesting signings from our past couple of days. And now going over to a handful of rumors. First, really quickly, the Fanatics jerseys were officially announced today. So the new jerseys for this upcoming NHL season were all revealed. We got the new Utah threads. We got the new jerseys for both the Ducks and the Kings with their new logos. So you guys can all check it out. There's a lot of pictures of them on Twitter right now, so you guys can go check it out. There's a lot of interesting looks at this point in time. I don't think they look too bad given the bad reputation Fanatics has at this point in time, but we shall see when they start to put on the jerseys and play NHL games. We should also see them at the draft, I think, so interesting stuff there, but some interesting jersey updates there. But we got a ton of rumors to talk about, so we're going to talk about some interesting things. According to Pierre LeBrun, he mentions that the Leafs have not ruled out them bringing back any of their UFA defensemen, so guys like Brody, Edmondson, and Leah Bushkin could still be back with Toronto, so we'll have to wait and see on that. But according to Pierre LeBrun, there's not a guarantee at this point in time that those guys are gone. According to Chris Johnston, he was on, I think, a radio hit a little while ago, and he mentioned that the New York Rangers could be looking to move on from Trouba, as he might be the odd man out in New York. Makes $8 million for, I think, the next 3 years. There was some talk about a buyout earlier in the season. There was some talk about him potentially being moved, so not exactly sure if he will get moved, but according to Chris Johnston, there was some talk that he may wind up getting moved. We got some more hits on the insider trading video that was posted earlier today. According to the insiders on the insider trading video on TSN, the Edmonton Oilers are currently busy with all their pending UFAs, but there was some interesting comments from Leon Draisaitl saying saying that he loves Edmonton and he loves playing in Edmonton, but he didn't really give any confidence that he was going to sign an extension in the not too distant future. He said that he was going to take his time and decide where this is going in the future. So it doesn't sound like Draisaitl is going to be signing in the near future, but it sounds like the Oilers, according to Chris Johnston, will look to try and get the pending UFAs, which are going to be expiring this weekend, done first, and then they'll focus on Draisaitl, and maybe they do want to move in Draisaitl in the offseason. That wasn't ruled out, so we'll have to wait and see if that does happen. But according to a lot of people, the Draisaitl comments made a lot of people wonder if maybe Draisaitl is going to go out of Edmonton. It's going to be quite an interesting situation to watch out for this offseason. According to Pierre LeBrun, he said that Eric Tulsky has a few things he's working on right now, and he's been sort of thrown into the fire with him being the new GM of Carolina and being announced so late into the season. Apparently, according to Pierre LeBrun, there's still a couple of teams interested in Martin Necas, and there's apparently one team in particular. Pierre LeBrun doesn't know exactly 100%, but that does have a serious offer on the table for Martin Necas with the first-round pick in this upcoming draft. So it would be interesting to see. He speculates that maybe that team is the Buffalo Sabres. There's been a lot of talk about the 11th overall being on the table in order for them to get a solid upgrade. We know they also could be open to moving a solid prospect like a Kulich or an Ostlund or a Rosen. So if they could package those two with maybe one roster player, like maybe a Henry Jokiharju or something like that, could that be enough to get Martin Necas deal in place? It's possible. And Pierre LeBrun even mentioned that the Carolina Hurricanes may not even move Necas if they don't feel they'll get the return that they want for him. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Plus, Pierre LeBrun also said that Jake Guentzel contract talks are still ongoing, and that the Canes have not ruled out bringing Guentzel back, and it's one of their top priorities for this offseason. But he also says that teams like Vancouver could be really interested in him should he hit the free agent market on Monday. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Speaking of free agency, according to Chris Johnston and Pierre LeBrun, it sounds like the status quo in Tampa right now between them and Stamkos. It sounds like, according to Pierre LeBrun, they would have to up their offer in order to keep Stamkos. He says it's a possibility, but at this point in time, it hasn't happened yet. So it seems like the Bolts, like a lot of people were thinking, might lowball Stamkos to try and get him to stay for a very low AAV. And it seems that there's a lot of teams who do have some interest in Stamkos who are lining up to give him a big offer and talk to him on free agency day. So it's not exactly sure if Stamkos will stay or not. Apparently, Nashville's a team who has some serious interest in trying to add Stamkos on top of Detroit, who just cleared some cap space. So those two teams could be big players for Stamkos, and I expect there could be a couple of other teams too. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with Stamkos and if he stays in Tampa or not. Then when it comes to David Pagnotta, he mentioned a couple of things too over the past little while. He said that the trade talks have indeed picked up for Ducks goaltender John Gibson. He says he has still 10-team no-trade list, so it has to be worked out. And he says that a team like Detroit, plus another team he's not exactly sure of, have indeed stepped up their offers to try and add Gibson. My guess would be personally if the other team might be one like the Jackets, the Hurricanes, or Kraken, as those three teams could all use a solid goaltender like Gibson. So we'll have to wait and see, but apparently, according to some reports from David Pagnotta, those teams have all stepped up their offers. David Pagnotta also mentions that he expects Teuvo Teravainen to hit the free agent market on July 1st, doesn't expect him to be back with Carolina next year, so not overly surprised there. He also mentions that Utah's in the market for a top four defenseman. He says that they're shopping hard to try and add a top four defenseman. Not sure if it'll come via free agency or via a trade, but Utah does have a lot of draft picks to move, and they definitely do need some more help in that blue line, so we'll have to wait and see, but I would definitely expect Utah to try and add some more pieces. On top of that, he also mentions that Brock Nelson and New York Islanders have not yet started contract negotiations, but they should not do this in the future, while Marchessault and Vegas continue to try and work out a contract extension before Marchessault hits free agency on July 1st. And on top of that, he also mentions that the Canadiens are open to moving Yoel Armia and Christian Dvorak this offseason and will be open to moving them. I think Dvorak has 1 or 2 years left at a $4.5 million cap hit. Armia has this year left at a $3.4 million cap hit, so I could see both those guys potentially be moved. Could even see him be buyout candidates as well, so we'll have to wait and see, but it does seem that the Canadiens are open to moving those guys too. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on all this down in the comment section below. What do you think of all these rumors that are circulating right now? What do you think about Stamkos, Montreal, Nelson, Marchessault, Guentzel, Necas, Teravainen, Utah, Toronto, lots of them. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on all of that. Plus, what do you think about the New Jerseys? And what do you think about the 4 signings we've had from over the past couple of days? Definitely love to hear your guys' thoughts on all of that down in the comment section below. So I'm going to talk about for today. Remember to like this video, and for later, subscribe down below. Thank you for your support whenever you're able to without you guys. So if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe button down below. Don't forget to leave a comment down in the comment section below so I'll discuss today's video. Also a blog talking about news, rumors, analysis, stuff like that, so check that out. Leave a link down in the description below, and I can't wait to see you guys all for next video. See you guys soon.